Welcome to the Back to Soul podcast. Here we will connect with our soul and discuss what the journey home looks like. Inspired by my own true spiritual awakening, I'm your host, Danyell, better known as Coach Danyell. I'm a life coach specializing in wellness and finance. I've searched, I've Googled, but I couldn't find the answers I was looking for on this journey. So hopefully listening to this podcast will help you come home, back to soul. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for weekly episodes. Welcome. This is the Back to Soul podcast. Here we are on episode 5. And today we're jumping into part 2 about twin flames. The previous episode, I spoke about my journey with my twin flame and just gave a brief overview of some terms and what that journey could or could not look like. It was received pretty well, so I figured, why not go a little deeper? So this episode, we're talking about the synchronicities, we're talking about the signs, we're talking about the spiritual gifts, the angel numbers, and touching on the telepathy. Here on the Back to Soul podcast, we will speak often about books and how they can help us to navigate this journey back home, back to our soul. I've partnered with Audible, who has thousands of titles to choose from, including audiobooks, podcasts, and groundbreaking originals, and just so much more. Plus, the Audible app makes things so much easier to listen to anytime and anywhere. So to continue your journey back home, back to your soul, go ahead and download the Audible app. Also, let me mention, new members try Audible free for 30 days. Again, that's audibletrial.com/Coach Danyell, CoachDanyell. Before we get started, let me just preface this episode by saying this is my experience. This is what research I've found. This is what has resonated with me. And it may not be your journey. It may not be your twin flame journey. It may not be something you resonate with at all. But it is my personal journey that I'm giving out to the world. So it doesn't have to resonate with you. Personally, I feel that every twin flame journey is not exactly the same. And like I said, I don't think everyone is on a twin flame path. I'll also say that my twin flame is not toxic. They are not abusive in any way. This is a spiritual journey to fully awaken the inner you and help you fulfill your purpose. This path helps you to fully love yourself and to spread love and light out to the world. It helps you to heal fully. And that's not something that everyone you bump into in the world can trigger. For myself, I am on a divine feminine path. I am deep into my spiritual journey at this moment in life. I also feel my spiritual awakening was accelerated. It felt accelerated. Other stories I've heard about spiritual awakenings, and they speak about them lasting 7 to 10 years. And overall, my journey has lasted about a year when it came to my spiritual awakening. It was a lot of heavy healing and a lot of going deep into my childhood, into a lot of dark moments, and just reliving, rehashing things out, forgiving myself, forgiving others. Even if I haven't had physical contact with people that were abusers, that took advantage of me, or made me feel less than, spiritually, I have healed. And spiritually, I have forgiven them, and I've moved on from that. With all of that being said, I just want to reiterate that my journey may not be your journey, but there could be some similarities. Again, just for an overview, if you want to have another breakdown of this twin flame journey, just tune into the previous episode and I go over everything. So let's get into it. So briefly, I knew that my twin flame was about to be presented to me in the physical. I was shown visions ahead of time. The face and the body was blurred, but I knew he was coming. God, the universe, has a way of giving you signs, and it could be signs that resonate with you. So for instance, if you listen to a certain podcast every day, it could be a message about starting something new, expansion. It could be about entering a new phase of your life. It could be bumping into a stranger and you guys get into a deep conversation about finding a loved one or marriage or just starting something new. God has ways of getting the message across that we have to decipher is God's way of speaking to us. So fast forward a few weeks, he was presented in the physical, and months later we went into separation, and that's where we've been ever since. So I want to get into the different synchronicities that I've experienced throughout this entire journey. So big synchronicities for me are signs in nature. So I love birds, I love animals, I love all things nature, I love water. So one big thing that I saw at the start of my journey was feathers. Birds are very significant for me. My first name, I'm named after a bird. My mother loved birds, she loved nature. So for me to see a sign via nature was big for me because it's something that I would immediately recognize. It would catch my attention. So I would find feathers, white feathers, black feathers. I found feathers. And in the beginning, I never kept them. But towards the middle of my journey, I did start to actually hold on to these feathers. And there are universal signs for all of these things. Of course, you can Google anything. But when it comes to things that relate to you specifically, it may have a different reason. So for me, when I'm finding feathers and I'm having these interactions with these birds, they're approaching me, that tells me that I'm on the right track, that my angels are near, and that I'm not alone. And for me, that is very, very important. And it just helped to motivate me more to stay on the journey because I was very hesitant to even accept or go along this path because it's very triggering, but it's also very spiritual. And a lot of these things that happen to you, it doesn't make logical sense. I could never tell this story to everyone. I know I'm putting it in a podcast, but I pray it reaches those that it needs to reach that are on this path or have questions about this path. But this isn't a journey for everyone. This is very spiritual. This is very much you learning to trust God and trust the universe and give in to healing and loving yourself unconditionally. You truly learn to walk by faith and not by sight. It's not directly in front of you. It is spiritually being guided towards love. And it's beautiful, but it's also very devastating, the whole process. There's some ups and downs, and there are some heartbreaking moments, and there's so much healing and the breaking down of your previous beliefs and your previous mindsets. And it just makes you into a brand new person with a completely different mindset about life. So when you start seeing these synchronicities, you have to really think about, what does this mean to me? How does that correlate to me? What is the overall message? Another big synchronicity is going to be numbers. I am constantly seeing consecutive numbers, repeating numbers. Ever since I started this journey, I see them consistently daily. It never changes. And you come to realize that, again, certain numbers may resonate with you in different ways. When I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, again, that tells me I'm on the right path. Keep going. If I just had an idea, a vision, then I'm going with that vision. If I just meditated and I cleared out something that has mentally been holding me back, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4 after that meditation, then I know that I did something good. And you will see these numbers everywhere. So for me, if I'm paying for something, I'm going to see it on my total, on my receipts. It's the time. It is everywhere. Everywhere that you can generate numbers, you'll see it. It's the date. It's all of these different things. And again, certain numbers will mean certain things. A big number for twin flames is 64, 1111, and 1010. Also twos. So I often will see 64 if I'm having a big enlightenment moment about my twin flame. I will see all twos if maybe there's something significant that has happened in our journey, or there's been a breakthrough or a stepping stone that gets us closer to union. So numbers are important. And again, if you have a certain number, like your date of birth or a number that you share with a loved one that's important, if you see that number, then that could be a sign to, hey, pay attention, what's happening in that moment, what's going on. A third thing, and this has been the biggest, and if I'm honest, the most annoying part, is I see this person's name everywhere. So once this person was revealed to me in the physical and I knew exactly who they were, if you listen to the previous episode, then you know at first sight, I was devastated. I cried for a few weeks. It took me a long time to come to terms with this is my person, because they were the complete opposite of me and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the correlation. And the more you do research on twin flames and you let go of the physical and actually tune into your spiritual self and tune into your emotions, you can but you can feel the energetic connection, the energetic pull, and you begin to recognize, why is this my person, and how this came to be my person. And now that I'm deeper into the journey, things are starting to make sense. It's like the puzzle pieces are starting to come together. And again, so once we met up in the physical, I started to see his name everywhere and it's never stopped. So almost a year I've been seeing his name everywhere. It is his first name, it is his last name. Even if you're not consciously thinking of this person, because there is a consistent energetic pull between the both of you, subconsciously they're always connected to you. Energetically, they're always connected. So no matter where you go or what you do, they're going to be in the back of your mind. And if I'm on social media, or if I'm checking my email, or just out and about, doing things, meeting people, I could see this person's name anywhere. And at first I really tried to play it off and say, oh, it's just a really popular name, that's why I see it. But again, I mentioned in the last episode, if this person is physically headed towards me, I may see their name in rapid succession. And it is very weird. Back to back to back, I will see their name. I don't say their name out loud because I don't want to summon any of that. But it is very interesting, this journey that you are on. And you do come to understand that it is a strong energetic pull. And you have to learn how to navigate it. You have to learn how to release some of that energy, some of that emotion, because you feel your person's emotion when they are having a breakthrough moment, when they are going through these ups and downs with this spiritual journey. You feel those emotions, and sometimes it is gut-wrenching. A lot of times I will find myself out of nowhere just becoming very emotional, becoming very drained, and I'm crying, I'm upset, and it comes out of nowhere. And I have to understand that these are not my emotions. It is this person I am tied to having this breakthrough or having this breakdown, and I'm feeling those emotions in that time. And I do have to release. You can never fully release a twin flame. And the thing is, I have to learn to dial back the connection to focus on life, because you still have to live life in these moments. But yes, so the name, you will see their name everywhere. Again, if I'm on social media, if I'm talking on the phone with someone, if I am just out and about, it'll just be so random and I will see it everywhere. And then I'll turn around and I'll see their last name and just little things. And I was watching a TikTok the other day, and this person said that you will sometimes see your person in other individuals. So I'm at that stage where if I'm out and about running errands, I'm seeing people that mimic my person. It's very weird. And it's not, again, that I'm looking for them, but they just seem to be popping up in my life everywhere. So another universal sign for twin flames is finding this red thread randomly. Red thread, it is the sign of union coming close. And you will find it's very random. You'll just find pieces of red thread. Another sign is the mirroring of emotions, which I talked about earlier. Again, if they're having a breakdown or breakthrough, I think depending on how strong the emotion is, that's when I feel it. In the beginning, I felt everything, and I couldn't understand and decipher what was my emotions versus theirs. But at this stage, I'm able to say, oh, that's not my energy. Because if I'm having an amazing day and out of the blue, I just start to feel angry about nothing, I know that's not my energy. And I've learned to dial it back and release what's not mine and live my life. As you listen to the Back to Soul podcast, don't forget I am a life coach, and I'm here to help you succeed and excel in your everyday life. I've been in those tough situations, those situations where you need someone to talk to, you need a friend to console you. I can be that person for you. I can help to motivate you, empower you, and help you to hold accountability. You are not alone, and help is here. Whether you're needing advice on budgeting, time management, accountability, staying inspired, or just someone to talk to, I'm here. Use code POSITIVITY to save 50% on your intro coaching session. My promise, if I'm not a great fit as your coach, then the session is free. Book today at CoachDanyell.com. Another sign from the universe is the opening of the heart chakra. And this is a pretty big one because on this journey, again, it is about self-love. It is about unconditional love. So you feel that heart chakra opening. So you may feel your heart chakra opening. It may feel like heart pains, like chest pains. It is the opening of your heart chakra. Definitely Google it if you want more information. I think it could come at different stages in your journey. Again, I think everyone's twin flame path can be different. For me, my opening of my heart chakra came early because I accepted the path and I wanted to open up to what could be. But I think my twin flame is in the process of opening their heart chakra. So sometimes I will feel their chest pains. I will feel the heart quickening. I will feel heart palpitations. And it's not me. My body is fine. Everything is fine. I'm just experiencing their body's feelings and emotions. And it can be quite powerful. But again, at this stage, I'm learning to decipher what's mine and what's theirs. Another universal sign for twin flame is that energetic pull. So I spoke about this in the previous episode also. So when I am around my person physically, I feel an energetic pull to go to them. It is very strong. It is not something you could fake. It is a very, very strong pull to go to them, to be in their presence, to be next to them, to touch them. It's very weird. And the first time it happened, I didn't understand it. And it was a nervous, giddy feeling. It made me feel excited. But at the same time, in this world, you don't just get up and run to a random person. So I've learned to try and navigate that as well. And I've learned to distance myself. And because I know that we're in the separation, they're not ready for union. They're still healing. I still have a bit of healing to do. So it's not meant for us to engage in that way yet. Another sign is the runner-chaser aspect. I think this is talked about a lot. And in the beginning of my journey, I was the chaser. I was chasing this person, and it was because in my mind, God revealed this to be my person, and I've always been a go-getter. And so I went after it. And so what I've come to realize is that active energy, that's very masculine energy. And if I'm on a divine feminine path, I have to soften, and I need to be the receiver. And another aspect of this journey is discovering who you are at your core. Are you a divine masculine or a divine feminine? And for me, at my core, I am a divine feminine. but I've always acted in a divine masculine way. I've always overworked myself. I've always been over pleasing to people. And once I started doing the healing, I realized I'm not that person. That doesn't make me happy. I wasn't truly happy in the life that I was living. I call it my pre-awakening stage. And now that I'm post-awakening, I've realized that I do want to be in my core energy. So I'm in a receiving mode. So once you start to do the healing, you go into your core energy, it flips the script. So again, from my understanding, if I was acting in my divine masculine, then that means that my actual divine masculine was in his divine feminine. So he would be going through the phases of healing that. And so everything flips when you're getting close to union. So at this stage, I am no longer the chaser. He should be in an aspect of getting more confident and being in his actual divine masculine energy, because I am sitting in my core divine feminine energy. And it is, again, it's a receiving mode. So he would be the chaser and I would be the runner. Eventually in this path, we both stop chasing and running, and we will come into union and just be accepting of this journey and choose one another. Another sign when it comes to twin flames is trouble sleeping. So I've been having this ever since I started my spiritual awakening. But once my person was presented to me, it just went crazy. So I went through stages of sleeping maybe 3 hours a day, and my mind would just be racing because there's so many thoughts, there's so many visions that I'll be getting. And for me, I'm very creative, and I have to write it out, or I have to record, or I have to get the emotions out in order to get everything out of my head. So what I've been told is when you're having that trouble sleeping, yes, it's the healing, it is all of the energy, but it's also your person is having trouble sleeping as well, because they're up trying to navigate these emotions and these energies. So you guys are both on this twin flame path. There's so much information that's out there that is very surface. It's very surface level. It doesn't really dive into the energetic pull. It doesn't dive into all of the healing that must take place. It doesn't dive into this myriad of different emotions you experience daily, consistently. It doesn't dive into that push and that pull of this energetic thread. It is so much that goes with this journey. And I think if you just Google twin flames, you'll get all of these websites, and it'll say, this is a twin flame, this is not a twin flame, this is a karmic. But you have to understand that not everyone is on this journey. This is not a common journey to be on. And also, not all twin flames come into union. So I would just be weary of taking advice or taking information from someone who doesn't understand the journey, who has never been in a twin flame connection, and who has never come into union. Because again, there's a lot of information out there. And I know there's a lot of tarot readers on TikTok, and they're talking about twin flames and karmics. And you have to understand, with those tarot readers, they are reading from their own perspective. They are reading from, these cards say this, these cards say that, but they're not actually going into the journey, because there's so much more to it. And if you're getting daily TikToks from a tarot reader about your twin flame journey, what I've come to understand is that you don't need to know everything that's happening with your counterpart. Why would you reach out to someone else just to understand if your counterpart is entertaining other people, if they're struggling, if they're thinking about you, if all of these different questions? You are energetically tied to this person. Anything you want to know about this person, if you go into meditation, find a quiet state, you can communicate with them. There is nothing that anyone else can tell you about your person, because it's your person. That energetic thread is there. You guys are tied to one another. And again, if you're looking at daily TikTok readers, the emotions that you go through on a daily basis, it's up and down. It's always up and down. There are days when I ask God to release me from this person. There are days when I send him overwhelming love and light. There are days when I am just angry because I'm remembering how I was treated. There's emotions that are just all over the place. So if you look at a reading one day and it's saying that your person is thinking this way of you, thinking this way of that of you, if they are trying to pull away from this connection, you may do the same thing within this journey. So it's not consistent because it is a healing process and it is very up and down. It is very emotionally and physically daunting and tiring. You are healing the deepest and darkest parts of your soul while discovering your other half. Once you choose this journey, and yes, I feel like you have to choose it. You have to accept and choose it, and that's when it starts. But there isn't an off switch. There's no going back, and you can't unknow what you know. So if my divine masculine is having a bad day, and again, it would be like an emotional breakdown, some type of extreme emotion, I feel it. You're so tied to that person energetically that their feelings are your feelings. I will say the journey gets easier as you get further into it. At least for me, mine has. But it comes with a sense of deciphering their feelings from yours. And it comes with a sense of finding clarity and allowing the healing to take place. I think the more that you resist it, the more that you ignore, or the more that you fight it, that's what makes the journey harder. And that's what prolongs the journey. I think if you accept and give into it, that's what quickens the process. But I also will say it helps to find a daily routine for clearing your energy, for praying, for sending love and light, because you do come to understand that your person is going through this healing journey with you. And you want your person to heal. You want to heal so you guys can just move forward. And just know that this is hard. It's not an easy path. That's going to bring us to the end of today's episode. So lots of twin flame discussions, but again, there's just so much to the journey, and it's hard to put everything into words because it is a very spiritual and energetic journey. It sounds weird to voice some things out loud, but it makes sense if you're on the path because it's very spiritual. It is about having faith and trusting God. So if you'd like to dive in more, or if you have any ideas about future episodes, feel free to reach out to me, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to be notified for weekly episodes. Also, this doesn't have to be goodbye. Check out the Find Your Positivity podcast. It's available on all platforms. Daily episodes are posted for your affirmations and your intention settings of the day. See you soon.